What was that?
That was me twisting. Shall we... Shall we start?
You sounded like a piglet. Like, you know. But you know what killed me in the parodies when the Trakan's version, when she said, "And piglet I'll rule." It just makes you remember everything you hate about Elaine, and it's so good.
Hello, you beautiful beak-faced Trolloc lovers, and welcome to another installment of Coplin Talks. You have me, Asha'man Wren, and
Helena Sedai.
from Wheels of the Wheel, and today we're going to be looking at Thom'S guitar, a clip which was released by What on Prime. Helena.
Yes, let's go and have a look at the clip, because Thom is one of my favorite characters in the whole series, so I'm really excited to see anything about him and to hear him speak, of course.
Yes, and what we're going to do is watch the clip and then give our opinion on it. You may think this is Coplin bullshit, but it is our opinion.
Opinions are like asses, everybody's got one.
Right, let's play the clip. So Helena, that was the clip set by What on Prime for Thom'S guitar. What did you think?
To be honest, I was more excited to hear Thom speak than about seeing the guitar. But the guitar is fabulous. I like that it's a guitar. And I like that it's not lute, flute, or harp, or any of the other stuff.
Yeah, what I took away from there was only 3 real bits in there that were of significance. So the first significant part was the opening passage where we have that text about Thom. Did you want to just read that text?
She nods her head to Thom Merrilin, 50s, who's finishing a beer as he heads back up to the stage carrying his guitar. Thom is wearing the patchwork of colour on the inside of his cloak, identifying him as a glee man.
Yeah, so that part I found very interesting. Now, first of all, who is the woman giving the nod?
Yes, I really want to know, because I'm suspecting it's Moraine.
See, I thought it might be Dina. You know, somebody has actually been cast as Dina. So I was thinking maybe it's his girlfriend.
Ah, you think he shows up with a sidekick and they off her right away, so that we have not the long tragic backstory, but rather a short and quick one that we get loads of information from.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. You know, so, I mean, it could be Moraine, right, which again would make sense, or it could be Dina. I'm leaning more towards the Dina side, because this person has been cast. And you've got to keep in mind that, you know, the episodes, I think they're going to move very quick. And Thom and Dina, Thom loses the plot when, spoilers people, when Dina dies and he goes on a rampage.
That's quite a good idea. I never thought of that. I was just thinking she will be there to have an impact at some point.
Yeah.
But she could actually be a good introduction.
Yeah, and that's it, right?
His tragic backstory doesn't have to unravel over time, though it is good and is cool, and I like how it's done in the books, because you just peel off layers of Thom and layers and find out more and more. But maybe they will just smack us right in the head with, okay,
yeah,
dead girlfriend, dead nephew,
yeah,
ex-assassin, on the run, this is Thom.
and
maybe
it wouldn't make sense to just cast her and then not use her, right? Because, I mean, we're anticipating 8 episodes in the first season. And, you know, the name is spelt slightly different, so we don't know if it's the Dina that's Thom's girlfriend. But I'm going to speculate it and say it is. And I'd say that, you know, they introduce her, she gets killed, and, you know, that's Thom's backstory. You know, because things are not going to be identical to the book, right? they're going to mess it around a bit, and that could be one thing that they've sort of changed.
Yes, they can kill her and then just say the rest of it, like, okay, this happens, and on top of this, and this, now she's dead too, and there's Tom. That's quite an easy solution, but maybe it takes away a lot of the mystery from the character. And maybe she's not just Dina, Tom's apprentice, girlfriend, sidekick. Maybe she is, you know how they said they would merge characters? Maybe she is not just Dina. Maybe she is someone else and Dina.
That's a very good point as well. They did talk about merging characters. Okay, so then the script goes on to read, he heads back on stage with his guitar. Now, why is it a guitar and not a harp, Helena? I thought Tom was so passionate and loving about his harp.
I think there's no passion for the harp in this world that would make that man look good with a harp in his hands. Just imagine Alexander with harp in his hands. It would be ridiculous. The man is a rock star.
Right.
He literally is a Viking rock star. He cannot have a lute, a flute, a tambourine, or something as ridiculous. Like Rafe said in one of those Q&As, he said when Tom gets on the stage, he stomps onto the stage with that guitar. It's a moment. What that tells me, it's like a rock concert. You know,
all eyes are on him. Everybody's focused on him.
Eyes.
He's the centre of attention, and that's what he demands, isn't it? Also, I think harp is dated now, right? I mean, how many people would actually know how to play the harp in 2021?
On one hand, it's really third age. What I wanted to see was, you know, those half harps, half guitars.
Oh, yes.
That's just a fantastic instrument. It could have been that.
You know, my only problem with the guitar is, right, you know, he's going to be on a horse a lot, and a guitar's bulky, or he's going to be running away from fades, he's going to be running away from Trollocs, and he's going to have this big guitar on his back running away from them. Don't you think that's going to slow him down?
Maybe he smashes the fade in the head with the guitar.
So WWE style, use a guitar just to beat people up with. The script then goes on to say, Tom is wearing a patchwork of colour on the inside of his cloak. Now, that's interesting. Why is the patchwork on the inside? I thought the patchwork was meant to be on the outside to show everybody, hey, I'm a gleeman, I'm here to entertain. This is my costume.
Because he is a rock star and not a clown. The patchwork on the outside was always so ridiculous to me.
No, I liked it.
It was over the top. It was so over the top. It's like a Tinker wagon.
Maybe it's one of those reversible cloaks, right? So that, you know, when you see the patchwork, it means you're going to hear a song. He's going to tell you a story. But if you see the other side, which doesn't have any colour, doesn't have any patches, you better watch yourself because he's going to kick your ass.
So it's like his shufa.
Yes, his shufa, that's exactly it.
It's like when he puts the right side on, then you get, okay, I can see that happening.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's his costume. Maybe that's his superhero cape.
Yes, and when he's climbing the stairs while he's stomping on the stage, he just flips the cloak and he's full of colour, and then he flips it back and kills somebody.
The video then continues and we see the construction of Tom's guitar. Now, to me, it just seems like a very simple, basic guitar. Do you have any input on that? Does it look like a normal guitar to you? Or is there anything extra about it?
I bet there are plenty of musicians that can call us out on this in the comments and explain what is it, why is it, everything about the design, because to me it is just an oldish looking guitar. Do you think he will still have the juggling balls?
Oh yeah, I mean, he's got to have the juggling balls, right? That's part of the entertainment. I'd be very disappointed if there was no juggling balls in there.
You know what else I was wondering? When he lounges at the Fade, who gets the guitar? Rand or Matt?
Oh, that's an
because
interesting
I don't see Rand carrying a guitar or playing a guitar. I see Matt. He's the next rock star.
Yes, I agree. I think if anybody was going to inherit the guitar, it would be Matt. Because you can see Matt sitting there playing the guitar. Okay, so the next scene is the guitar sat on the bench. the camera then zooms out and you see that it's in an inn or somewhere where there's other tables and benches and stools, and in the background there's like a display, and it's almost like it's weapons or something there. Now, do you think that's in Coplin? Do you think that's the Wine Spring Inn? Or do you think it's in Shinar?
I don't think it's Coplin or China or anything. I think it's just a mock-up. It's just, let's get some old-looking inn from Pinterest and plant a guitar in the middle of it. I don't think it's anything from the show. I think it's just, okay.
I thought it was Shinar, solely because of the weapons in the background. And I'm thinking that's like a nod towards like the end of the series.
It does look like a rack with hatchets.
Yeah, and that's what I'm thinking. Is like, I could only see the Borderlands having, weapons there for just, common use, for everyday use. So then, after it's zoomed out, we then hear Thom'S voice, and he says, "Donation for the Gleeman." Now, what do you think of that?
I think it's a marvelous Danish accent, and I think he will just be this Viking rock god, and he will steal the show, and we will love him, and I already love him, obviously. So
yeah, and do you find similarities to The Witcher? Toss a coin to your Witcher.
I think that's like a tradition, to make parallels like that.
Okay, so I know that Thom is one of your favourite characters in the series, right? What do you think of the theory that Thom was originally written as a dark friend?
I don't think he was written as a dark friend. I think Jordan left it open for a long while to have that possibility, like he did with some other characters, and then to be able to pick and choose. I never read anything that was foreshadowing of him being a dark friend. It's just a dark past. You can be a man who has done a lot of wrong things and still be a good man.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he's meant to be a dark friend. I think he was just somebody that walked the edge. Alright, so that is the clip from What on Prime and Thom's guitar. What are your final thoughts, Helena?
My final thoughts is, because we've heard Rafe say in the Q&A that they will not cast characters just to have a few scenes or an episode or two, that we will be seeing a lot more of Thom, and I'm delighted for that, because he's not only the father figure they all need. I mean, Rat and Matt, they would die on the road if it wasn't for Thom. They wouldn't know how to play to feed themselves or to defend themselves, and the fate would kill them. I'm really looking forward to watching him, because I'm thinking he will steal the show.
Okay, cool.
So Ren, what was your biggest impression? What are your final thoughts?
My final thoughts, I didn't mind the guitar. I don't mind that it's a guitar over a harp or a flute or a lute. That doesn't bother me. I quite like that. I think a guitar is a bit more practical for the age that we live in. I'm quite curious to know why his patchworks are on the inside of his cloak and not on the outside. I do like the theory that when he's performing and he comes on stage, he then does a somersault and a juggle, and all of a sudden his cloak then becomes a patchwork cloak just to get the crowd going. So I do like that theory. Overall, I quite like the clip. Thom's not a favourite character of mine. Like, he's okay, but I am looking forward to seeing how Alex portrays him in the upcoming series. So yeah, overall, I'm quite happy with it.
I think this is all that we can dig out from this clip and this description and our own expectations. So we will leave Thom's guitar alone and move to something else. This was Coplin Talk with me, Helena Sedai, and
me, Asha'man Wren. Right, and join us next week for another episode of Coplin Talks.
Coplin talks. Does he talk? Which one talks? Of the Coplins?
All of them?
Coplin talk.
Oh, I said talks, didn't it? Yeah, sorry.
You said
Okay.
Coplin talks.
Right, let me do that again.
I'm laughing. Give me a second.